Call 408-805-4653 or log on to nagarajhomes.com.
Hello, Bay Area. Happy Friday. Yeah, all your real estate needs. Nagaraj Annaiah is your solution. Today I'm live on a Bali 92.3, live with April Hell. We're going to discuss lot of on the real estate, on the mortgage needs. Listeners, if you have any questions on the real estate or any questions on the Bay Area real estate, do give us a call. We are live on a Bali 92.3. Not only 92.3, we are live on a YouTube also. Do give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92, 877 Bali 92. Hello, April. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Nagaraj.
And I think there was today is, I think let's start with the market shutdown, right? Like, given the lack of major economic data due to the government shutdown, I feel there was a very little movement in the mortgage rates this week, right? And depressed volatility is likely to continue until the shutdown ends. How is the mortgage rates are doing?
You know what? Fortunately, they are doing really well. They came down before the shutdown, and they've been just sitting still in a really good place.
Yeah, that's good. I think one thing is normally, even though rates remain near the lowest levels of the year, right? As you said, mortgage applications have weakened this week, or like according, how is it right now? What do you think?
You know, actually, still quite a bit of activity. I've had a lot of phone calls, both purchase pre-approvals and
Uh-huh.
also refinances. So it's continuing to still be pretty plentiful.
Yeah, that's it. I think, listener, what are the rates going on, April? Let's start with the purchase, and then we can go with the refinance.
So actually, for us, the rate's the same, 5.5. I'm sorry, 5 year ARM, 5 ARM fixed for
Mhm.
5 years, is at 5.375%.
Uh-huh.
30-year fixed, is 6%. And a 20-year fixed is at, I think it's at 5.625% today.
Wow, that rates are really good, right? 5.37 with if 75 with the 0 points, if I'm
They're
understanding
all
it.
0 point loans. So yeah, so buy downs are also, you can buy down the rate if you feel that you want to do that.
Uh-huh.
So it's at this time, I'm encouraging people to take advantage. Most people, especially if they purchased their home a while back in the last year or two, they
Mhm.
probably have a higher interest rate.
Okay. So, but for example, let's say they bought a house this year in the start of January. Rates were close to a 6%, 6.25%. Do you recommend them to refinance now, or like they need to wait for some more time?
I would say do it now. It's for most people, it's going to make a difference.
Uh-huh.
Rates might come down more next year. We don't know exactly, but I would take advantage of it now. And then later on next year, if it makes sense, do it again.
Yeah, but see, there are scenarios right now, right? Like I've seen a lot of homeowners, they do it for 5.325, they do it for 5.25. They're never happy on the rates, right? Like they even 0.125, they keep on shopping or they keep on waiting. Is it good to wait on like this or go do it refinance now for 5.325 and after 3 months, if it drops to 5.25, should I refinance or wait for that? When do you think is the right time to refinance?
So I would say most times you want to get at least a 0.5% better in rate to 0.75%,
Mhm.
depending. So if it's above that, usually it's going to make sense.
Got it. Okay. But there are two things, right? Assuming rates change, there are some lenders gives the rates assuming like where they can just go basically based on some point like maybe with some 2 or 3 thousand month they can just go refinance it, right? Like or just they can just reduce the rate, or if that lender is not supporting, they go for a refinance. Which one do you recommend is better?
I'm sorry, say the question one more time.
So some of the lenders like you, right? They don't
Yes.
need to do a complete refinance, is correct? They can just go basically do the rate, reduce the rate with the lender.
Modification. Yeah. So it depends
Rate
if,
modification.
yeah. So in a lot of cases, the rate modification, very few lenders do that, but my investor, I think that's a great way to go is to do the modification.
Mhm.
That'll take out and then see maybe where next year is. And then at that point, either you can do another modification with them or do the refinance. And some people might want to go from arms to fixed
Mhm.
at that time. So there's a lot of, different ways you can analyze it.
I think rate modification is a great asset or like great thing because whenever you do a refinance, you need to do a lot of times you need to be starting from you need to do all the appraisal. You need even for the rate modification, the appraisal needs to be done.
It does not.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a rate modification. The good thing is you no need to do a appraisal. And the second thing is like refinance, you need to be doing a appraisal. So I think there are two things which is like that's why when they choose a lender, this they need to check out for all these things, right?
Agreed. Yeah. It definitely there are certain investors that do certain things that other ones may not.
Okay, okay. Listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah. Today we are live on a Bali 92.3. If you're with the April L and we're discussing a lot about mortgage and the real estate. If you have any questions, do give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92, 877 Bali 92. April, one scenario I need to discuss on the refinance times, right? Like what we are seeing in a lot of times is like the appraisals in the refinance scenarios, right, are not coming full, right? For example, let's say in San Jose, if somebody had bought it for 1.65, they need to do a refinance, and the rate prices comes down, like when they do the refinance appraisal, right? Like, what do the in these scenarios? How are we handling these cases?
So I actually have one right now that I'm doing that exact same scenario. So
Mhm.
it came in a little bit lower. Then market softened a little bit from when he purchased it last year.
Mhm.
So what we just did is we gonna adjust that to an 80% first mortgage and then just back it up with a little home equity line of credit. That will, they can either pay the difference, but a little home equity line of credit still going to make sense. They still have the lower rate. They can
Mhm.
pay off that home equity line and not have a payment at all.
Got it. That's a good thing to know. And one more important thing is like, let's say they need to do a loan modification, correct? When they do a loan modification, if they lose the job or like if the rate borrower's income drops, what do we do in these cases?
So they check nothing. If they've already have the loan and they're doing the loan modification option with us,
Uh-huh.
they literally nothing is checked whatsoever because the loan has already been qualified. They're just doing the rate buy down for them with a contract to, do the float down for them.
Wow, that's really nice. They don't even check the credit scores, or they do just check the credit scores.
Nope, they do nothing. Yeah, absolutely nothing. The loan has already been done, and it's just basically an accommodation to their borrower to
Mhm.
lower the rate to current rate to
Mhm.
retain the loan and not have it go somewhere else.
Wow, that's really nice. And one more thing is on the rate modification, since we're talking about the rate modification, let's say somebody has bought a house with a 20% down and they get another 10% extra cash after 6 months, correct? So most of the times when they do it, pay off that 10%, the monthly payments will not reduce because they need to do a refinance. In this case, they need to do can they ask for the lender to do a rate modification, or how is that works?
Well, they can even one of two. So if the rate is lower, they can do the loan modification. But even if not, my investors will allow them to just put the money down and they will re-amortize their payment over the existing period that's left over. So not all lenders will do that. Some will, some won't. But um, I've had my clients do that many times with my investors where they can actually put down, if they sell a house,
Mhm.
they, sell some stocks, whatever it is, they can put it down to their mortgage and re-amortize their payment.
Oh, that's it. No need to do a refinance or rate modification then.
Nope,
Just
not
go, just
not if it's with one of my current investors already.
think that's an awesome things. Listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and I'm talking to April Held. We are discussing about a lot about the mortgage scenarios. How does it like? Maybe you're a first-time home buyer, and maybe you're thinking, what are we talking about? You're new to this and would like to understand more on this. Anything on the real estate or a mortgage? Don't worry about it. It's a new or like you're a new or experienced. Any questions on the real estate or mortgage are more than welcome. Our studio line numbers are 877-265-5992. 877-265-5992. Do give us a call. So that's good to know. Like, if you lose the job, they don't care about if like rates, like basically credit scores, they don't care. The rate modifications, and even no need to, if even the appraisal is also like not needed. That's a really good thing about Let me take one call. Hi, welcome to the real estate show. Hello, please go ahead. Your name, please. Hi, you're live.
My name is Baksha.
Yeah, Bacha, go ahead.
So my question is, I'm planning to buy a first-time home buyer,
Nice.
and I'm not sure where I should start in pre-qualifying before I start looking for a house, or should I do both simultaneously? Can you give me some directions, Nagaraj Annaiah?
That's really nice question, Bacha. I think since April is there, I'll let April to answer this question. April, how does he go about it?
I definitely think that starting with the pre-approval is a good idea because a lot of times you don't know what sort of housing prices, what the payments are going to be, or any of that, or what you qualify for. So really, just doing the pre-approval, it's a no obligation thing, but it allows you to get the information to see what you're comfortable with, what payments, what down payment you want to do, what housing cost, and so that way you can make a decision on how to proceed and what sort of price you might be looking in.
Yeah, thanks, April. See, that's the way to go about it. She is like just start with no, don't even start a pre-approval. Just do a pre-call. Just give a call to April after this show, or give me a call also after this show. We'll just look at your income, how many years you're staying here, and how much down payment do you have, and based on your FICO score, we can basically come up with what is your minimum qualification. And again, depends on did you borrow anything previously. Based on this just 4 or 5 questions, we should be able to pre-qualify how much you can borrow. Based on that, you can start looking for the houses. Do you have any other follow-up question on this, Bacha?
So when you do this pre-qualification check, you do not hit the
No need.
credit score, right?
Yeah, no need. But is
Okay.
just to make sure, but it's all based on your FICO score. If your FICO score, it's not lying about it, then you should be all good later also. But you can start with just pre-call right now. And once you are thinking sure like it goes for you, then you can go with the pre-approval.
The follow-up question I have is again related to the visa status.
Correct.
For an L1 visa, is it easier to get current scenario?
April, do we have any visa restrictions via April?
No, we don't. As long as somebody is a legal resident to work in the United States, it doesn't matter which visa that they're on.
Yeah, I think as she said, and even what about the April? Like if somebody has come, they're on EAD, is that EAD also is okay for you?
EAD is perfect. I actually have one client that is on EAD right now.
Okay, see, any visa, it's a valid immigrant, then she should be able to help you out, Bhaskar. Any other questions?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do please give me a call back after the show,
Thank-
and I can help you to get a pre-call for you.
Thank you, Annaiah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, April.
Thank you.
Thank you, listeners. If you have any questions, we're still live on Bali 92.3. Give us a call. Our studio line numbers 877 Bali 92 or 877 2655992. This show is for you guys. Okay, but please make use of it. Anything on the real estate, anything on the mortgage, don't worry, it might be a small question or anything might be hard question. Don't worry about it. Do give us a call. We would be happy to help you out on anything on the mortgage or anything on the Bay Area real estate, because knowledge is the key for the success. That is where the show is all about. April, that was a great thing what you answered, couple of things, right? Like, but let's talk about the scenarios, right? Like somebody started with mm, X number of income now, correct? But after the pre-call or a pre-approval or during the process of buying of the house, right? Like their income changes or their job status changes. How do we handle these cases?
So you're saying during the pre-approval while they're searching for a home, correct?
Not pre-approval. Let's say they bought the house,
Oh, okay.
or in the process of buying the house.
Okay. And their
So
income changes?
income changes.
So it's if they've purchased the home, obviously we can, look at what rates are doing, see if we can adjust to a different type of loan program with a lower monthly payment for them.
Okay, so basically they need to, if the income changes or a new job changes, it's again depends on all the scenarios. Are they qualifying based on their previous RSUs? Because the previous you might not include the new RSUs, right? Because they're not with the same company for 2 years.
We can use them sometimes as if they have them for 1 year now. So there's been a few changes on some of those. So if they have RSUs for a year, we can sometimes use that as well now.
Yeah, and again depends on the companies also, right? Like, are they with the same company they shifted? Because he was talking about, Bhaskar was talking about, he shifted from, let's say in L1 cases, most of them are moved from India to here, right? Like, in that case, they no need to have for 2 years in the same company. We can consider the income from the previous also.
Yeah, so what we do is we just use most of them that are on salary, we just use their current salary. They don't have to be at that job for 2 years.
Oh, that's nice. Not even 2 years, like even for 6 months, if somebody has moved from India from last 6 months back or anything from other places 6 months back, still they should be able to borrow here or buy the house here.
Yes. We
Okay.
just need to do some sort of verification of prior employment.
Wow, that's really nice. So what about the down payments? If they, let's say they don't have enough down payments, right? How much they can borrow the down payment wise from the families?
They can do the entire portion from their family.
Wow. Okay, that's good to know.
Well, we don't say that they're borrowing. We of course call it a
Gift,
gift.
gift. Correct, in the real estate. That means
And that is
mortgage
not
term.
that we don't report to the IRS. No forms or leave their file, but yes, it is a gift.
Yeah, it's a gift. Okay, not borrowing, listeners. So do give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92. Myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, live on Bali, talking to April Health, discussing a lot of on the mortgage and the real estate scenarios. So good to know. But one thing in this moving from, if they move from other parts of like country to here, the credit scores are maybe it's still not good, right? What do they do in these cases, like when they don't have enough credit scores?
So it depends. If it's lack of credit, I
Mm.
talk to a lot of people on how to build credit and build it quickly. So sometimes they might need to get other credit cards and start using them, or a secured credit card, or they just need to clean up credit. So it really depends. The main thing is don't use more than 30% of your credit card line at any time.
Mm-hmm.
That's really helpful. Utilization of credit is a big portion. So there's a lot of different things. And if people need help with that, I'm happy to talk with them about that too. If they're concerned with something, I'm happy to consult and to advise on how to improve that.
I think since we're talking about the credit score, right? What are the top three? What are the top three do you think it will impact the credit scores?
So utilization of credit is a large portion. So you don't want to use more than 30% of your line. That is probably 35 to 40%.
Mm-hmm.
The other, of course, late payment. So making late payments, always make at least the minimum monthly payment on time, and then pay the rest if you want to pay more later.
Mm-hmm.
And also collection accounts. Some people aren't aware. Sometimes medical collections will pop up on their credit report. So you can get a free credit report every year on annualcreditreport.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I would suggest people do that, because sometimes people sneak things on that they're not aware of.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good one. I think these are the top three things, especially when they're planning to buy the house, right? They need to make sure these are the three things they need to watch out for. And how much they borrow also is very important, right? Like based on their income, because sometimes they make 10,000, they would have borrowed 5,000 of the car or the 3,000 of the car.
Yes. Yes. I've seen a lot of times people have leases that are the same as mortgage payments sometimes, and especially if both of them lease their cars. So it can impact that for sure.
Yeah, but I think very important to talk about on the secondary homes. Okay, so most of the times when we want to buy a secondary home, correct, we may, or a secondary home or a second upgraded home, right? Like, or say you want to buy another second home for yourself. In
Mhm.
that cases, most of them go for a as a primary home because they convert the first primary home to the first residing home to investment property.
Mhm.
When they change it to a first property to investment, should they inform to the lender that they've changed the usage from the primary to an investment?
Nope, that is not necessary. So as long as the time when you're actually doing the loan, it's an owner occupied.
Mhm.
That's what you're doing. You don't have to change status at all with that particular loan.
Yeah, because some of them are like, especially since they're, and what about the, how does the insurance impact? What kind of insurance should be they're using? Because when they bought it, they bought the insurance as a primary residence, right? Should they change the insurance type now?
Yes, they should definitely do it as an investment property because there's different insurance things that I think are added to that, which your insurance partner would be one that probably could elaborate on that. But yeah,
Mhm.
definitely you'd want to change it to not being your primary.
Okay. But for the mortgage, they don't ask any questions, or the lender doesn't care about your usage after closing because the circumstances might have changed.
Correct. Correct. They hope that you're going to at least be in there a year. That's
Mhm.
kind of implied, but they do realize that things come up and things change.
Okay, that's really important to know because a lot of buyers or the homeowners, they're going with a second home or a third homes nowadays. Because reason I keep telling, right, like if everybody would have modified the rate, then most of the homes would have come to right now for they would have sold, right. Right now, the Bay Area, what's happening is a lot of people bought their first homes for 2.52%.
Mm. Yep. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, since they bought that one for 2% or 2.5%, and they're purchasing second and third home, they're not even going and refinancing their first home. The beauty of, and I think one more important thing I need to talk about is the multiplex homes right now, correct? For example, up to three or four homes is considered as the still as the regular lending, or how does that work, April?
Yep, up to 4 units is residential.
Okay, up to 4 units, and basically they can stay in 1 unit and they can still rent out 3 units, and you still give they get the primary residence rates.
That's correct.
And now, since we are running out of we just have a couple of minutes, but I want to talk about quickly about what are the rates for a secondary home and investment properties.
So with us, second home is the same as a primary residence.
That's very nice.
And most of our rates for investment properties are just about 0.5% higher.
Okay, okay, that's really good to know. Uh, if April, if somebody wants to reach out, what's the best way to connect with you?
They can reach me at 949-306-8100.
Okay. Don't worry if you're not noted down the April's number. You can note down my number because you can, if you could reach out to me, I would be able to pass on the April's contact also. The easiest and best way to reach out is go to nagarajhomes.com, and click on a WhatsApp icon. Click on a WhatsApp icon. Anything on the mortgage, anything on the real estate, do reach out to me. I have a very good lenders like April especially have helped me a lot of my clients this year, and a lot of clients have got benefited with as little as 10% down also. Thank you so much for listeners for listening in, and talk to you soon.
Thank you, Nagaraj.
Thank you.